Hey, welcome back to the Soul Pod. This is Stacy. This video is for anyone who's ever had a sense of wonder, maybe even judged themselves for believing something that seemed strange and unreal. In the mid 90s in Africa, there was this guy who was highly successful. His name was Lawrence Anthony. He had made a great deal of money in his younger life in real estate and other endeavors, insurance and whatnot. And he was fairly well set by the time he was around 40. And he had this longing to do something that mattered, purpose, that thing that drives us all ultimately, that thing that when it's missing leaves us feeling hollow. But Lawrence Anthony, he took all of his money, or a great deal of it at least, and he bought more than 5,000 acres in Zululand in Africa, just this big huge game preserve called Tula Tula. And he took it over, and he started taking care of the animals there, and he continued to add to the size of it and also the number of animals. And it turned out that he had this special gift that allowed him to communicate in some sort of way, to connect, especially with elephants. Eventually, he became known as the elephant whisperer. People started to understand that he had this strange, amazing way to connect with elephants in a way that allowed them to be calm in his presence and sort of understand him in a way. Well, at some point along this journey of his game preserve and preserving and protecting these animals, there was a large bunch of elephants. I believe it was nine that had gone rogue. They kept breaking out of the enclosure that they were held in, and they kept getting loose, and they were trampling gardens, and people felt endangered by them, and the decision was made to kill this entire herd of elephants. And before they got to that point, though, someone called Lawrence and they said, could you come and take a look at these guys? And so he made the journey and he met them. And the lead elephant's name was Nana. She's sort of the matriarch of the group. And he put himself in the group, fearlessly, just sort of walked in with a casual demeanor and sort of got to know them without intimidating them much. And he decided to take them on, and he transported them to his property, and he spent many days just being among them, just being calm among them until they felt comfortable enough with him to just walk around through them and be with them. And eventually they settled in to his property, and they stopped with their breaking out behavior and their running away. What Lawrence saw was not bad elephants, but a frightened family. And he reached out to them in a way from here that allowed himself to connect with them and for them to connect with him. And it was, it's an interesting story because you might be thinking, well, that's really great. I've heard about that with horses and other animals. People have this way with them. But it goes bigger than that, you see, because it wasn't long after that Lawrence died, sudden heart attack. It was nearly 20 years he ran the game preserve, and just suddenly one day when he was 61, that was it. It was over. Now, this is a very large game preserve. He rarely saw the elephants at this point. They had made their way out among the other elephants in these many, many miles of space, and occasionally they would see them, but not that often. Well, his wife was mourning his loss along with his son, clearly unexpected and surprised that he would have gone so quickly and unexpectedly. And during this process of mourning on the second day, that they were thinking about the loss of their beloved Lawrence, the elephants arrived. They'd known that the elephants were a day or two away by walk, and they had made this long trek, and they showed up in front of the house, and they proceeded to do what's been known as mourning. Elephants mourn. They're one of the few species that have been known to mourn the loss of the loved ones, where if a loved one is down, they'll put their heads down and they'll make mourning sounds, deep bellowing. They'll nudge the dead, when they recognize that they have dead. But nobody seemed to understand how these elephants knew that Lawrence was gone. Was this a strange fluke? Was this some unusual thing? For days, they stood there doing this thing they had never done before at the front fence of this house, just mourning the loss of Lawrence Anthony. Lawrence's wife, Francois, said it's as if they knew, as if they sensed in their bones the echoing of his passing. But that's not the whole story. You see, that would be interesting enough, wouldn't it? Enough to make you go, wow, that's a sense of wonder story. It's a bigger story than that, because you see, he died on March 4th. And every year, right around March 4th, the elephants show up again outside his gate. And they mourn and they linger for a day or two before they move on. Every year since Lawrence's passing. What do we make of that? How do we make sense of it? Francois, his wife, said, "We don't understand it, but we don't need to. It's enough to witness it." Isn't that with most things in life that are wonder, though? If you think about all the things in life that have left you with wonder, that are unexplainable, but nonetheless can't be denied, like elephants mourning for no explainable reason that we can prove, that proof thing that gets in the way sometimes when we have a need to prove how something works or why it works, or how elephants miles and miles and miles away can understand this person they've connected with has died, to the extent that they would make the hike and mourn. There's so many things we don't understand. We don't understand it, sure. Do we have to understand it? Or as Francois said, is it enough to witness it and know it here? Know it here. Watch out for wonder. Keep your eyes open for wonder in your life. Don't shut it out because you don't understand it. Keep your heart open to it. Let it in. Accept the beauty. Appreciate the beauty. Think about Lawrence Anthony, the elephant whisperer, and Nana, his dear friend. Thanks for being here. Thanks for enjoying the Soul Pod channel. Share it with your friends, please. If you haven't checked out the Soul Podcast yet, check it out. I think you'll like it. We have much longer stories on topics like these. If you haven't liked yet and subscribed, please do that. The more watchers, the more people this gets in front of, and the more people join the audience here. Keep the show going. Have a beautiful day, and keep your eyes open to mystery.